Hmm. Okay, so welcome viewers once again back to our channel, and today we are here to discuss about the Sri Lankan cricket and what actually happened, like why the downfall of Sri Lankan cricket happened. Because Sri Lankan cricket was once a very dominant force in the global cricketing arena, and it has seen a significant decline. Because if you see their current performances, they are not up to the mark. And if you are a 90s cricket fan, then you must be knowing what Sri Lanka was. Obviously, winning 1996 Cricket World Cup was the pinnacle of their cricketing achievements, and then they have been a formidable opponent in really all formats of the game. But its fall was actually gradual. It was not that it was a sudden downfall. We could all see their downfall. It was gradual and a bit painful for every cricket fan. And exclusively, if you are an Asian cricket fan, then this fall was much more painful because now Sri Lanka was not part of the Champions Trophy also, since they couldn't qualify being into the top eight. So here we'll discuss all these things about the Sri Lankan cricket, and in this we'll see what great players Sri Lanka has produced, how they were like a fiery opponent. Like I remember watching matches in 90s and what Arvinda De Silva, Arjun Ranatunga, Sanat Jayasuriya and Rumesh Kaluvitarna, I remember what great opening partnership they had. So we'll discuss all these things, and for this we have our friend Anirudh. So Anirudh, can you take us through?
Yeah, as you said, Sri Lanka were a very, very dominant force till about till the 2015 Cricket World Cup. Sri Lanka was a very, very strong team, and they were always World Cup competitors. They were a main competitor in the World Cup, just like how Australia is now, just like how New Zealand is now. India is doing. India, New Zealand, Australia, they're all like in every World Cup, if you see now, India, Australia, England, New Zealand, these four teams, and even South Africa, we can say are we call them as World Cup competitors in every World Cup. But till 2015, Sri Lanka was also in that list. West Indies was also in that list, and even Pakistan was also there in that list. So I don't know suddenly what happened to them. Like they were having this combination like Tilakaratne Dilshan, Kumar Sangakkara, Mahela Jayawardene, Lasit Malinga, all those kinds of legends they were having. During that time, it was a golden era for them, and they were able to at least come to the knockouts, and then eventually they also won that 2014 T20 World Cup. Sri Lanka won by beating India in the finals, which is never easy actually. But they did that. So that was a really strong Sri Lankan team. But unfortunately, after that, they have not been able to compete at that level. Like if you see, even in Asia Cups, also they have been very very behind. They have not won many Asia Cups. Only one Asia Cup they won in 2022. But the remaining Asia Cups also they have not been doing quite well. And World Cups also they have been nowhere close to the knockouts, and now they are not participating in the Champions Trophy. In fact, Sri Lanka played the World Cup qualifiers. That's how badly they have declined. So it's very saddening to see actually. But now under Sanat Jayasuriya for the last 1 year, for the last few months, yeah, last 1 year we can say, Sri Lanka is trying to improve and trying to revive itself back to their best. So hopefully, maybe the future holds good for Sri Lankan cricket.
And yeah, so what I see the reason of failure was, firstly there was a lot of, like, the primary reason was the administrative mismanagement. The Sri Lankan Cricket Board, the SLC, has been like plagued with corruption. There has been corruption, internal power struggles, and like the lack of vision, we can say. Because once the players were in their last phase, even if you see the 2014 T20 World Cup, the players were in last phase, but the new players were not ready by that time. Because if you see in India now, you can see Kohli, Rohit are about to retire, and we have already established new players in the form of Gill, Yashasvi Jaiswal, who are ready to fill in the boots of
Yeah.
the senior players, because within 2 or 3 years, I guess Indian team would be revived. The new players would
Yeah.
take over. But if you see Sri Lankan case, once Jayawardene, Sangakkara, Malinga, and even I'll put
Dilshan was
Mendel,
there.
Dilshan, they got
Upul
retired. There was
Taranga.
no,
Upul,
huh?
Tar Upul Taranga.
Upul Tharanga, they got retired. So there was nobody to come and fill in their boots. And it looks as if it is all every 11, like all the 11 players of the team are looking like debutants when they come to play. So you need to establish a player, and the transition which is happening, it should be very smooth. It is not as if 11 players get retired and you put in 11 players. So you need to plan out the retirements also, and you need to keep on like putting some new players into the team, so that they get the experience of playing with the old generation players, and they can gain experience. Because otherwise this will be the case which is happening with Sri Lanka. And you yes, Sanat Jaisuriya's inclusion into the management has been a very good step from Sri Lanka. We can even see their performance has improved, but still I guess they need some more time where they can prove,
Yeah.
because overseas tour is, yeah, because they are performing well in their home conditions. They defeated India, they defeated Australia also. But when it comes to ICC tournaments, do you need to perform on some different level? You need to perform good in the foreign conditions. So I think that is still missing, and hopefully Sri Lankan Cricket Board will look into this so that the competitiveness of the cricket can be increased more. Your take?
Yeah, definitely. Actually, if you see in the last 1 year, Sri Lanka has not lost home ODI series. Like they have beaten India, Australia, even New Zealand. They have beaten Afghanistan. They have beaten. So they are trying to resurrect themselves. Like Sanat Jayasuriya is doing a good job. Even for the World Test Championship, Sri Lanka was in contention until that BGT was happening. Like if the BGT result had gone their way, then Sri Lanka's fate would have been in their hands to qualify for the World Test Championship final. So their hopes came this far, but unfortunately, in the end, Australia qualified. They were just too good, and they were able to win against India and Sri Lanka, and they qualified. So why we are saying this is Sri Lanka is now trying to resurrect themselves back to their best, and even Charith Asalanka, Sri Lanka's captain, now he is saying that even he believes that they can resurrect themselves and they can come back, they can claim the ICC rankings, and if they automatically start playing best cricket, then they can be competitors in ICC events. Because nowadays in ICC events, if you see, there are only 4 or 5 teams who are real competitors of winning the trophy. Other teams are not that strong enough to win it now. Because and amongst the Asian teams, if you see, only India is a competitor in ICC events. All other Asian teams are not nowhere close to winning any trophy now. So that has been a concern, but hopefully maybe if the teams like Sri Lanka and Pakistan, if they can all change their management and change their way, change their approach of playing, maybe they can bring back their old style of playing and resurrect themselves and again play their best cricket so that they can give more competition in these kind of ICC events.
Yes, exactly. And obviously, Sri Lanka will perform good. But the main question is still remains that the transition. Now, suppose this team starts performing well within 2 years, and Sri Lanka again performs well for, let's consider, 5 or 6 years. But the main question is still remains that once these players, which are now part of the team, they are about to retire. Are you having that domestic level structure that you can fill in their spaces once they get retired? So the main problem is arising from the lower levels. Like the domestic cricket structure of Sri Lanka, if you see, is very much fragmented. Like too many teams are participating there, and which leads to the dilution of talent, and the lack of competitive intensity is there. Moreover, if you see the investments of the Sri Lankan government in the cricket, I don't guess it is up to the mark. the facilities, even if you see their grounds, their poor facilities are there, proper coaching
Yeah.
staff is missing. These things matter a lot because once a player is established, obviously he'll take your team to different heights. But obviously, once he will retire, then do you have that skill coming from below to fill in the space? These things matter, and I guess if Sri Lankan cricket starts looking into these things, then obviously yes, no doubt that there will be a downfall time, but you need to minimize that time. You should have those players which can come and quickly get established, or quickly they have the experience to play along with the older generation. So these management decisions need to be taken care of.
Yeah, actually, if you see from that old team where this Tilak Ratne Dilshan, Upul Taranga, Mahela Jayavardhane, Kumar Sangakkara, they were all, Nuwan Kulasekara was there. That was a legendary team actually. Even yeah, Lasit Malinga, all these people were there. From that team to now, the only member from, or maybe we can say two people, two players from that team who is surviving in the team now are Dinesh Chandimal and Angelo Matthews. So we don't know, so they are having the maximum experience in that team now. So the thing is, the younger Sri Lankan players, as you said, they need to learn from these senior players who are having more experience.
Exactly. Younger players should be given a chance to play along with the older generation players so that they can gain experience, and by the time the retirement of the older generation comes, they should have played at least around 40 to 50 matches, so that the new generation players are there with a bit of experience.
Yeah, that's true actually. Uh, and that is one of the main reasons actually why Sri Lanka, like, I think what happened was they were also going through a phase where from 2007 to 2014, even Sri Lanka were going through the phase where they used to come to the semi-finals and lose. They used to come to the
Hmm.
finals and lose. Like what South Africa is doing now, Sri Lanka was doing
Hmm.
then from 2007 to
Hmm.
2014. Like semi-final they will come, they will lose. Final like 2007 ODI World Cup final, they lost it. 2009 T20 World Cup final, they lost it. 2010 T20 World Cup semi-final they came, lost it. 2011 ODI World Cup final against us only they lost finals. 2012 T20 World Cup happened in their own home, like in Sri
Hmm.
Lanka it happened. And we talk about Australia silencing India on 19th November 2023. But West Indies actually silenced Sri Lanka in that 2012 T20 World Cup final in Sri Lanka.
Exactly.
One of the most underrated victories of all time, I would say, West Indies. That was a big win actually. And Sri Lanka were silenced in their own home and they lost that home T20 World Cup. They lost. They were actually favourites in that T20 World Cup, but unfortunately they lost again in that final. And then after that, again, Champions Trophy 2013, they came to the semi-finals, again lost it. So I
Hmm.
think there was some desperation. Like once you keep losing like this for so many years, like in semi-finals and finals, now we are so desperate. We want South Africa to win something. Sri Lanka would have also been desperate during that period that they want to win one trophy. Like now they are losing. Like there's too many semi-finals and finals are going like that. They would have also felt. So maybe in focusing on winning that one trophy, maybe they forgot that their players. You need to create next generation players. You need to the transition should be smooth. Maybe the focus they didn't focus on that aspect, and maybe they might have focused too much on winning that elusive trophy, which was not coming to them. That can also happen, right? Sometimes when you are going through a long drought, like always coming to the knockouts and losing, coming to semi-final, final losing, it always hurts you. Suddenly the mindset itself shifts, isn't it? You want that
Exactly.
trophy so badly that you forget all other factors.
Hmm. And obviously, the only thing which they have won in the near time span is the women team has won. So obviously, women team is
Yeah.
doing good, we can say.
No, even
Because if
also men's also won the Asia Cup in 2022, Dubai, or UAE Asia Cup.
Huh. Under 19, I guess.
No, senior team won men's Asia Cup.
Acha, हाँ. Men's Asia
Dasun
Cup, yeah.
Shanaka led the team, no?
हाँ. Now, but if you look in like being a 90 born kid, like I have seen Sri Lanka in 90s how they used to perform and how like our elders used to fear from Sri Lanka, because if you see in the 90s, I guess it was in the 90s in Sri Lanka gained test status, I guess, in 1981.
Yeah.
And before that, obviously, they were seen as minnows. But once they were established as a test team and they got establishment in 1981, as I told, so they took again, still they took around 9 years to get established. And in the 90s, if you see, there were some great legends. And I don't know if you remember or not, Arjun Ranatunga, the captain,
Yeah.
was there.
Aravinda De
And he
Silva was there.
Huh. Arjun Ranatunga actually transformed the team. I remember there was a news that one Sri Lankan team had no money to like to play a match or something. So Arjun Ranatunga along with Sanat Jasuria like financed the entire that match for Sri Lanka, like playing giving fees to the players. There was one incident. So like not only a leader, he was a very good, like you can say, a very good man. And along with Ranatunga, there was Sanat Jasuria who revolutionized the cricket.
Yeah.
And then obviously everybody knows Muthaiya Muralidharan, the greatest
Yeah.
off spinner to play
In
cricket.
fact,
And
Arjuna Ranatunga only saved Muthaiya Muralidharan's career because that one
yeah,
match.
if you remember the test match where he took the team along with him.
Yeah. Yeah.
No? Yeah. And again there were players like Arvinda De Silva, Ramesh Kalu Vitarna, Chaminda Vas, if you remember, left arm pacer.
Yeah.
No?
Super bowler.
So I don't know why can't their legacy has been carried out in the Sri Lanka team, because uh, after Chaminda Vas, then Malinga came, and do you remember any fast bowler with
Nuwan
that
Kulase,
amount of
Nuwan
yeah,
Kulasekara.
Nuwan Kulsekara was good, but I will not put him in the bracket along with Chaminda Vas and Lasit Malinga. Kulsekara was good, yes. Again,
Even
but that is,
even Tisara Pereira also. Tisara Pereira.
ha, these all players are good. I can say that, but I don't know why we cannot see other bowlers like to the level of Chaminda Vas and the other, like Muthaiya Muralidharan was there. Then
No, yeah.
Mendes came, but
Now we are seeing Dilshan Madhushanka, no? Dilshan
ha
Madhushanka,
ha.
left arm fast
But
bowler.
but still, these are very early days to see him, like Madhushanka, to put him in the same bracket of Chaminda Vas.
Yeah.
And like they used to give fears to Australia, and that Australia was something very like and I guess they defeated Australia only
Yeah,
in
they
1990.
defeated Australia in the 1996 World Cup final. That was
And that World Cup was final was in I guess Lahore only. So that was some superb performance, because defeating 90s Australia was not an easy task.
no, but actually that win came before Australia won those three World Cups in a row. So that was
but their
before
team
Australia
was
wins.
before Australia won that, but the Australia team was really strong that time also. If you see the
Yeah.
squad of Australia that time, they
The
had some
the
great.
one thing I would say, the one thing that led to Australia's dominance, that hat trick of World Cups, was that Herschel Gibbs catch in 1999. Because if that catch had been taken, then the semi-finals got tied. Means South Africa would have come to the finals, and Australia would have gone out. Like
Exactly.
look at what all things South Africa, they don't want to win, but they are helping other teams win. Like,
Not only win, South Africa did not only help Australia to win, actually it led to their dominance for around 10 to 40, 50. And even today, Australia are dominating. Who knows if
yeah,
they have lost that World Cup, that dominance would have never come. South
yeah.
Africa is obviously. So coming back to Sri Lanka, so we have talked like there have been various lapses at management level, even the financial constraint which they have. We all know their economy was not doing good, but still now since Jasuria has come into the play, so what could be their way forward? How do you see this team dominating? Not at least dominating, at least you can say if they are qualifying for a tournament and playing a semi-final, then also it's very good for Sri
Yeah,
Lanka. So
that's
what could be the way forward for Sri Lanka?
Yeah, they should like now they are doing good in their home conditions, but they should not be limited to their home conditions. Like in overseas tours, like in overseas bilateral series, also they should start winning. The issue only the last year they have won so many ODI series in their home conditions, but they have lost to Bangladesh in Bangladesh in a ODI series. So again, the weakness is spotted that in overseas conditions they are struggling. So in case they are going to play any World Cup or any ICC tournament outside Sri Lanka, they are going to struggle, isn't it? And that this big weakness needs to be sorted by them. Like everyone is a beast in their own home. If India is playing here, we are whitewashing teams here. If Bangladesh is also winning in their own home, like so many bilateral series, Bangladesh have also won in their own home. Sri Lanka is winning in their own home. Even England is can win in their own home. Australia can win in their own home. Like most of the teams, if you see, they are good in their home. Like they are, we understand that it's home advantage, and they are maximizing their home advantage, and they are dominant in their home. The only test for these teams comes when they are going outside their home and playing something, because that is when they are not in their comfort zone. They have to adjust to the outside conditions and those pitch conditions and what all that has that place has to offer. Like they have to adjust when they are going outside like that. So that will be the biggest test for these teams. And even though I think many people are saying that since Sri Lanka are continuously winning ODI series, they should be part of the Champions Trophy like that they are saying. But they are winning series only in their home. They are still not tested outside. If they are going to win like this in outside, then we can say okay, they deserve to play Champions Trophy. So people also
Hmm.
have to understand that aspect.
Exactly, exactly. No, but what I think is obviously these all things are good. You need to build a strong team, you need to have a coach, but investing in the grassroots cricket is the main thing which is required.
And also
Because
now, if you see, the Lanka Premier League is also happening. So many new
hmm,
talents are emerging in that also. Like now if you see, all these countries are having their own leagues. Like for West Indies, they are having CPL. For Sri Lanka, they are having Lanka Premier League. We are having IPL, which is the most popular league. Australia is having Big Bash League. South Africa is having SA20 League. Even New Zealand is having Super Smash. Pakistan is having PSL. Bangladesh is having Bangladesh Premier League. They are having their own league. Like if you see now, all the countries are having their own leagues. So it's up to them to discover new talents from those leagues and try and see who all are performing well there. Give them international exposure. Test them in international cricket. Like they need to take steps. They need to do everything step by step and try to improve their cricket.
hmm, exactly, exactly. All these things are being done, but what I think that could be a game changing step is that because if you, I don't know whether our viewers know or not, because if you see Sri Lanka had once best school cricket system. The inter school tournaments which happened, it was one of the best in the world once, because there were schools like Peter's College, Royals College, and St. Joseph's College, which have produced like Sangakkara, Jaybarne. All these players are product of these schools only. But I don't know what happened. This school system, this school cricket has really gone into the downside. No proper media coverage is there, and obviously corruption is another thing, like selection into under 15 and under 19 team on the just basis of sources and recommendations is being going on. That's why we are not seeing those kinds of players now at the top 20, at the top level. So these things need to be done. And I guess where Sri Lanka misses is the modernizing with the new game, because if you see the coaching staff of Sri Lanka, we know Sanat Jasuria, but they need to have like the management at the level of Australia and India. You have to have
Yeah.
different bowling coach, different fitness coach, some dietitian. Because if you look at the fitness level of Sri Lanka, I don't see them up to the mark. If you need to match with the international teams like India, Australia, England, South Africa, you need to first match their fitness level also.
Yeah, that's true. Actually.
And
Like,
huh,
but the another issue is the financial constraints also, isn't it? Like
obviously,
if
yeah.
you
So
see, if you see now, India, Australia, England are the three top boards who are having the highest financial success. I mean,
hmm,
highest financial freedom. Whereas the other boards are all having, like, even for West Indies, we saw a few players who are complaining that they are not having money to, like, a board is not paying them.
huh,
And that's why we see them prioritize leagues around the world, and they're not playing enough for their country.
hmm,
Similarly, even Sri Lanka was going through a financial crisis during that 2021-22 period. That time they were also going through a financial crisis, and somehow they managed to overcome and not focus on all those things, play, and they won that Asia Cup in 2022. So they are a team which can win. Like they are definitely not South Africa where they are going to throw away opportunities. If they are winning, they are going to win. But the thing is, like they need to the team itself has experienced downfall, so they need to rescue themselves and again come up. That process they need to start. If they start that, then I am sure they will be serious competitors in international cricket, because South Africa is South Africa. No one can throw away opportunities like them. Uh,
exactly.
so just because they are in downfall, we can't equate them with a team like South Africa. Like, uh, many if they are capable of winning, they have always won. Sri Lanka, that is one good thing about them.
Hmm. Exactly. And what I guess that Sri Lanka should also harness the spin tradition which they had.
Yeah, they
No,
are
I
having Manish Tikshana and Hasaranga now, but
Hasranga and Velalage is their new bowler. So I have
yeah, yeah,
huge Velalage, Tikshana because now like last spinner which I remember from Sri Lanka was Rangana Herath. And
yeah.
after that, Tikshana is good. Tikshana, guess he doesn't play test matches. He's a
No,
T20.
yeah, he's not playing that much test matches, I think, because test match they are having this Prabhat Jayasuriya and
Huh.
even Jeffrey Vandersay. They are all playing, I think.
So obviously they should harness this tradition because see, in order to dominate, first you need to do well in the home condition, which you are doing, and to do well in the home condition, you need spin bowling. Now the main question still remains how they can do well in the overseas conditions. Like if you see their calendar, they will have to go, I guess, to Australia this time because Australia came to them, so they'll have to go to Australia and New Zealand this time. So in New Zealand and Australia, the thing remains that how do you perform well? Can you repeat the performance of your home in Australia and South New Zealand?
Yeah,
Obviously, expecting a win would be a very huge expectations, but at least go and perform well, and it qualify for if not Champions Trophy, qualify, get a straight qualification into World Cups, the
yeah.
2027 World Cup.
Next year T20 World Cup is coming, so they should aim to qualify directly for that. I mean,
Yeah.
we want to see that old Sri Lankan cricket. Like, if Sri Lanka was playing like this, then they wouldn't have beaten India in that 2014 T20 World Cup, which is still hurting actually for us. Like, how
Uh,
we could lose that T20 World Cup, it's hurting for us. But Sri Lanka won against
uh,
us actually, which was completely unexpected. But the problem is, after winning that tournament, they couldn't maintain their form and they just disintegrated. Like after all those retirements, it just
so many
completely went down.
retirements came.
Yeah,
So many retirements came, and I would also blame those players also. Like everybody retired quickly. you could have phased out the retirements now. Jayawardene, then Sangakkara, and then other players. Everybody got retired, and it was altogether a new team. So obviously, it's very hard for a new team to come and compete with other well-established teams.
Yeah, but again, another issue is that, like you said, that people were retiring quickly. Another thing that players always have in their minds is like if they are going through a long drought, they are trying so much, they are not able to win. Like they are failing continuously. The team is not winning. They are not winning. If some things happen like that, immediate thought comes to mind that we will aim for this trophy. If we win this trophy, we will retire with the trophy. Like that,
But
many people
ha
like
ha.
that. The same thing what Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli has done last year in T20 World Cup after winning.
But
Immediate
but if you but if you remember Sachin Tendulkar, he got his World Cup after so long, but he still played one day cricket after that.
Yeah, yeah.
You remember, na?
Completed. He wanted to complete 100 centuries. No, after that.
Hi, that is true. That is true. He wanted to complete that century. That can be, but management can come into this now. You can ask to play at least one more year or 1.5 year. By the time new players are ready, because then it is very much difficult for new players to come and quickly get adjusted into the team. And then now also, if you see the leadership crisis has been there. Now, if you see there are established captains, but there was a time when there was leadership crisis going on in Sri Lankan cricket.
Yeah, yeah.
Because now to chalo we have like
The
and
Charith
again
Charith
yeah,
Aslanka.
Aslanka is their captain, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's a good captain.
And in test I guess Dhananjay De Silva is their captain.
No, actually, Dimut Karunaratne was their captain, but now he has given retirement, so we need to see who is going to be the next captain for Sri Lanka.
Okay,
Just now in
yeah.
this Australian Test series, after the series, he had announced his retirement. So we need to see what happens.
Uh-huh. But because now we have some very good prospects in Sri Lankan cricket, if you see Kushal in the form of Kushal Mendes, his average of Test cricket is somewhat to next level, I guess. Kushal Mendes, no, who
Yeah,
scored thousand runs in that calendar year. Yeah, so Kushal Mendes is a very good prospect. Yeah, and as you also told, Prabhat Jasuria, Dinesh Chandimal, Nishanka, they could do well. They could do well if they get right opportunities and like the management does well. And since there is a financial crisis, so obviously they will prioritize the leagues. But I guess
yeah.
they need to prioritize this cricket, like the national cricket.
No,
Otherwise, it would be
the
very
thing
difficult
is,
for.
only from the leagues they are getting a lot of money. Like uh, not every country is like India, isn't it? Here we are able to
Huh.
pay our players like international cricket. Also, we are signing contracts and league IPL. Also, we are getting a lot of money. But in other boards, it's completely different. So they need to adapt accordingly. They need to adjust
Huh.
accordingly.
Yeah. So I guess it was a very good and healthy discussion discussing about Sri Lankan cricket. And as a
Yeah.
true cricket fan, I always want to see every team performing well, like every team competing well. Obviously, results will not be favor of
Yeah,
every
but
team.
the thing is now actually many teams are not competing well. That is the issue in going on in cricket now because now if we see the actual dominance is only from India and Australia, and New Zealand is a little bit dominated, is also winning a few things. But all other
Hmm.
teams, if you see, Pakistan are not competing, South Africa are choking, England don't know what happened. They're diminished now. Afghanistan still rising. The trophies is still a long way to go for Afghanistan to come close to any trophy. They can win, but trophy is still far away. Bangladesh not capable. Like this is not looking good. Isn't it? Sri Lanka is not even there in this Champions Trophy. So
Yes.
actually, it was so predictable this tournament. We predicted that India and New Zealand will come to the finals. They came to the finals just like that.
And that's not good. That's not good because even before the start of the Champions Trophy, when we saw the squad, we could predict this. We could see this
Yeah.
coming. And why? Because other teams are not doing well, and that's not good. Obviously, our prediction came true, but
Yeah.
for a cricket as a cricket fan, I personally don't enjoy this kind of cricket where it is dominated by only two or three teams, and you are so sure that obviously finals are to be between these two teams.
Yeah, yeah. And nowadays, India is not even getting challenged in any tournament. I mean, I don't know whether we should have this separate discussion about this. But if you
Hmm.
see every time in ICC tournaments nowadays, India is
Hmm.
not getting tested in the group stage. Like, is it? I don't know whether it's because there are so many weak teams in the group stage, or maybe because India is playing so well and dominating so much. But every time, I don't know, Pakistan has to be always compulsorily be in India's group, who are not playing
Hmm.
well and always losing to India. And Bangladesh is also always there in India's group, who will also guarantee lose to India. So the thing is, when these kind of teams are there in India's group, like it's so easy for India. Well, don't you want some tough cricket from the group stage itself, like unpredictability? Like we need, like 10 years back, if we rewind, India qualifying into the semi-final finals itself will be a suspense. We won't know. Like they can even
Ah,
there will be a possibility for them to get eliminated in the group stage also. Like there will be a lot of suspense related to that. But nowadays it's just too easy for India. They're just making finals for fun.
yeah,
I mean,
it's
like we are
easy.
all. It's not that we are not happy about India making the final, or we are not happy about India winning a trophy. Like some people might mistake us, like, and think that why we are, as Indians, we are not enjoying India's success. Like that, some people will think. It's not like that, but we need that competition, isn't it? That suspense should be there from the group stage itself. That should be there. That is my point.
Exactly, exactly. As a cricket fan, we will love to see some good cricket. We don't enjoy watching a match where a team is like a one-sided match, and that too happening every time. We don't want to like, and it's not. And you were saying that it is becoming very easier for the teams like India. So
Yeah,
obviously, due to the performance of the other teams, it is becoming easier, and the groups which they are getting is becoming easier. And
yeah,
now, if you see Champions Trophy, it is actually very easy because we all know that India is playing in one pitch, not one pitch, the one venue, and many players, if you see, have raised their concern. Miller has raised the concern. Butler has raised the concern. Even Australian players said that it's a bit too much
yeah.
it's a bit too much being done for India. So what about you also said that India could have been made to play at different stadiums in itself in the same city.
Yeah, yeah.
So yes, it could have been done.
Yeah, at least they could have selected two venues otherwise. If not,
Huh.
they're not able to get ready, maybe they are thinking that okay, Pakistan is the main host. If India plays in different stadiums in our UAE means, seem as if UAE is also co-hosting the tournament. Whereas I don't know whether they announced that UAE will co-host the tournament. So if that is a
Huh.
problem, maybe at least two stadiums they can one match in Dubai, one match in Abu Dhabi. Maybe that they can do. Like
They
at
could
least they
have
are
done that
traveling. They won't have that
because,
same.
because otherwise, you see, the performance of teams is not good. We have discussed just now how bad Sri Lanka is performing, and other teams are also doing. Now, on top of that, you are giving some undue advantage, and I'm not blaming anyone. It is because of the geopolitical situations. We don't have that good relations with Pakistan. Obviously, nobody will like to go send their teams to Pakistan.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
obviously, this have been done.
No, no.
Uh,
That is only a problem for India. For other countries, they will go to Pakistan. That is not an issue.
Actually, yeah. Obviously, we know what kind of relationship India and Pakistan political situations are not good. So
Yeah,
let's not get in. But okay, now coming back to Sri Lankan cricket. So obviously, we there is a lot of hope. We can hope for that. Players like Nishanka and all those players can do well
that
and
is why they are
take.
already doing well. If you see, Nisanka has already scored an ODI double century last year.
Huh. Other players also I like so that the team performs well. Like Mendes, Aslanka, Dhananjay De Silva, they all can do well and take their team to new heights. So we as a cricket fan can get to see some good cricket.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely, because
Uh,
after the T20 World Cup in 2014, Sri Lanka have been very very quiet so far. If they can rescue themselves, if they can do their recovery, then maybe in future ICC tournaments we can say, okay, Sri Lanka is another competitor in the World Cup.
hmm. Hmm.
Yeah,
So I guess we come to a end of our video and we have discussed in detail how Sri Lankan cricket went into gradual downfall, and it has some good legacy of 90s, and hopefully it revives it, resurrects it.
no, not only 90s actually till 2014, like
So I'm
yeah,
saying,
the
yeah,
T20
I'm
World
saying
Cup.
the golden era of cricket. Yeah, they had great players till 2014, but the golden era was in 90s when they were dominating cricket just like anything. So with this, I guess we come to the end of our video. So
Yeah.
any last remarks which you would like to make for our viewers?
Yeah, keep watching our videos. Like we discussed about how Sri Lankan cricket was so dominant in the 90s. From the 90s till 2015, they were such a great dominant force. Unfortunately, they have gone through a bad phase in the last decade. Hopefully, they can they can recover themselves and they can revamp and again come up the rankings and again start competing like what they were doing before. They need to find new players. They need to find players who can contribute more for them and like what just like what how New Zealand have found Rachin Ravindra, they need to find another batter, another person, another player like him who can contribute that much and who is a great prospect for the future. Like they need to find more legends like that. So if they can do that, then I am sure that they can again come back to the top and again they can start competing and again they can be competitors in World Cups. So
Hmm.
hopefully now we are seeing some good signs under Sanat Jayasuriya. He's also having the experience. He has played for the team. He has played for Sri Lankan legends. He's having a lot of experience. So hopefully he will help the team to rebuild and come back to the top again. Like again they can start and they're already winning. It is just that they need to also win outside of home and. Like they need to continue and maintain their form, maintain their good form. So on that note, we sign off for today. Keep watching our videos, keep liking and subscribing. Add your comments in the comment section so that we can know all your views about our videos. And take care, guys. We'll be back again. We need to discuss about the India versus New Zealand finals preview. So we'll be back to do the video. So until then, take care, guys. Any final words you want to add?
Yeah, same as you said that we expect Sri Lankan cricket to do good because we have seen Sri Lankan cricket dominating the world forum just like anything. And that's all we can expect as a cricket fan, as a true cricket fan, because we need to see some good competitiveness into the Asian cricket also, because without Sri Lanka and now Pakistan also not performing well, Asian cricket, Asia Cup is really makes doesn't makes any sense.
Yeah.
So that's why we hope Sri Lankan cricket to do good. And with this, obviously, we would like to take your leave. And please keep liking, sharing, and subscribing our channel. And please comment so that and give us new ideas so that we can cater to your need. Thank
Yeah. So until next time, wait. So
you.
and we will come back again to. There's a big final coming up between India and New Zealand in the Champions Trophy. We will come back to do the preview of that video, and also there's another Asian team who is on the rise, Afghanistan. We can also talk about their rise in international cricket because in the last three ICC tournaments, I think they are the second Asian team who is having the most wins in the last three ICC tournaments. So that is a really great sign when we are talking about Asian cricket. So we can do a separate analysis on that, and we can discuss about that also. So take care, guys. Keep watching our videos. We'll be back again. Until next time, cheers and goodbye.
Goodbye.